Hey guys, so this is my boyfriend Alex.
Hey.
And we are going to do sort of like a collaboration video sort of deal because he just started his own YouTube channel called Above the Telescope. And so we are going to do the Wanderlust tag, and I saw this originally on essiebutton, and Alex and I really like to travel, so I thought this was a really great video that we could do together. So I am going to more or less interview him and ask him the 10 questions on this video, and then he is going to ask me the same 10 questions on his channel. So I will link that video below so you can go watch that if you want to see my responses to it. You need to stop doing that. And I'm just gonna get started on the 10 questions. Question number 1 is, what is your most treasured passport stamp?
Ooh, most treasured passport stamp. I would have to say Italy. I made a 8-hour-long drive to go to the city of Bologna because that's where my fraternity's from. And when we got there, we only had 2 hours that we could stay in the city, and then I had to drive 8 hours back to Croatia where I was staying at. And it was just a nightmare. It was a horrible, horrible drive. I haven't driven in probably about 5 months at that point. And so driving the car was scary. And if you've ever been on Italian roads, I mean, they don't really exist. They're very small. And so we have these semi-trucks going super fast. And but when I got there, it was totally worth it. The 3 hours in Bologna, getting to see all that kind of stuff where my fraternity was from. And just the culture in Italy is so much different and way more expensive than Croatia. But it was really awesome. So I do have to say Italy, although it's cliche, probably my favorite just for the story. Okay.
Question number 2 is, can you recite your passport number from memory?
Simple. No, cannot. Cannot at all.
Question number 3 is, what is your preferred method of travel? So train, plane, or automobile?
Actually, I prefer walking. Walking and biking everywhere. When I did Paris, I tracked it, so I figured out how much I was walking. I was there for 3 days, and I think I walked a total of, what did I say, about like 50 or 60 miles in 3 days of just walking around the city. I'm a firm believer of getting lost. Love getting lost in places. No fear. Because, I mean, worst case, what's going to happen? You're going to get back where you need to be. As long as you have a timeline, because you don't want to miss a plane. But absolutely, get lost, walk around, know people. I mean, you really don't get to experience anything more if you're in a train or a car because you're not in the environment. And so walk, maybe bike. I'd let a bike go.
Okay.
Possible segue.
Question number 4 is, what are your top 3 travel items?
Ooh. It all depends if we're talking local travel or international. I just can't.
Let's go international, because this is more about like, let's just go international.
International.
Yeah.
So international, my top 3 would be passport.
Not including a passport.
Okay, well, it would be 1.
Okay, well, that's an obvious one. You need
money,
a passport. Yeah.
No, 3 things I have to travel with are my camera. I'm a photographer, so it doesn't matter what it is, I need a camera. The other things, let's see, probably some form of communication device. So I need the internet. I just need the internet anywhere I can get it. So it means I gotta run to a McDonald's because I've got my iPad or iPod and I'm jumping online to see what's in the city. I need something that can get me to the internet. And last one, I would carry a knife. Not for the reason of like protection, but I'm a firm believer of carrying a knife in your bag with you at all times, just for the purpose of, it is so darn useful when people ask you to, hey, can we do this? Or you're traveling in groups and someone loses something or you need something. Knives just can make things.
I never thought about carrying a knife.
I always carry a knife.
Yeah. I know you always do, but I never thought like traveling you'd carry a knife.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess it makes sense. Like, I always have like a small first aid kit with me, but I guess that makes sense.
Knife and tape.
That's 4!
Well, the tape's on the knife, so it's like...
Question number 5, would you rather stay in a hostel or a hotel?
Hostel. Hands down, hostel. Hotels are boring. You don't get to sit with people. You like, oh, I'm going to my room. Well, congratulations.
So you like the big like group feeling.
Yeah, I love the fact that when you're at a hostel, you're sitting there and all of a sudden you go to the little bar they have and all of a sudden you hear like people that maybe speak a language you know, or they're like, oh, you're from Spain, and then you're like, well, hey, are you Spanish? And like, actually, no, we're Mexican. And you're like, oh, that's cool. It's like the same thing. And then they'll tell you it's not, and you learn a lot, and then you make great friends that way. And always carry a deck of cards when you go to hostels, because that you want to make friends, just bring them out and everyone will chip in.
Question number 6. Are you a repeat visitor or do you like to go to new places?
I am a new place guy. I'm a new place guy. I'll take a new experience over a place I've been if I can. But I do believe, like, the French have a great saying. Paris will always be Paris. So if you go to Paris one time, you've seen, for the most part, the culture in Paris. Where, like, Berlin is always becoming Berlin. And so that's their saying, and it's very accurate that, like, Paris is a very solid culture. Like, they're very proud of their history, and it does stay kind of stagnant, where Berlin is constantly evolving and changing, and that is what Berlin is. So you can never actually visit Berlin twice and have the same experience.
Question number 7 is, do you read up on your destinations, like the culture, the history, or safety, or do you just wing it?
Always read beforehand if I can. Won't stop me if someone was like, hey, we're going to Zimbabwe, and I'm like, okay, we're going.
Going to Zimbabwe.
We'll do it. But absolutely, read up beforehand, because if you can know one thing that the locals don't think you would know, and you do, it instantly, you don't have to know the rest of it. You just know that one fact that they're like, oh, you know, we're famous for, like, our pears. Oh my gosh, because we watched Princess Diaries last
Genovia.
night. Yep. So, like, we're known for our pears. Well, then they're like, they all instantly have that communication. They understand that you know something about them, and they're more willing to talk to you than someone who was like, well, so what do you guys do here?
Right. Right. Question number 8, what is your favorite travel website?
The one I often go to when I'm on the road is Frommers. Big fan of Frommers. F-R-O-M-M-E-R-S. I like it because it's mostly done by people who know the area really well. And when I'm on the go, and like I said, not like doing the 20 things off the beaten path, but I only have a little bit of time to experience, you know, like Notre Dame or the big things. Frommers is great for getting those quick hits out. As far as finding, like, the niche places, the underground places, that I go to, you gotta go to travel talk boards. You gotta find people who are like
blogs and stuff?
Yeah, because that's ever changing.
Question number 9, where would you recommend a friend to visit?
Being a military brat and having the luxury of traveling over the U.S. and outside the country and everything, U.S. Because what you'll find is when you go to, like, places like France or Germany, they're the size of a state. So you probably know, like, we're in Michigan, so we know Michigan. And Texans probably know Texans, but we don't know Texas. We don't know California. We don't know Iowa. And every state has something fantastic. And what I really find is interesting is you'll go overseas and talk to people who will start telling you things about your own country that you're like, I never knew.
Right.
And we're so large that before you go try experience someone else's culture and divulge yourself in there, they're going to want to know about you. They take as much from you as you take from them. And if you don't know where you're really from, in like the United States like we are, definitely do that. But for the international people, and if I just had to pick one spot on the map right now, I'm definitely leaning towards Croatia.
I figured you would say Croatia.
But I just got back from a study abroad, and I love Croatia. They're not on the Euro yet, so it's so cheap. They've got the weather like Italy. The food's good.
So Croatia.
Yeah, Croatia. And there's a lot of drinking. So good.
Okay, question number 10 and the final question. You're leaving tomorrow. Money's not an option. Where do you go?
Ooh, money's not an option.
Nope.
Torn. 3 places.
Pick one.
I can't.
Okay, 3 places.
3 places. The 3 places on my tomorrow's not an option list is Scandinavian countries, because they're expensive. They are very expensive. So I feel like to do it right, might as well have the money.
Yeah.
The other thing is Australia. I feel like you can do Australia cheap, but to get someone to take you out into the woods and like do the
dingo.
The dingo ate my baby. To do that kind of stuff, you're gonna need a little bit of cash flow to experience, you know, getting kicked in the back by.
And you've never been to those places.
No, I haven't been to either of those. And the last one, and the most likely, would be Asia. And I know that's like, well, you named a continent, not a country.
Just going to Asia.
Just all of that?
Just, yes.
That would be mine.
Any place in particular in Asia?
Probably, my first stop would have to be Southeast Asia. I think there's a lot of really cool, I mean, they got the mountains and the water and the culture, and I think it's appreciated.
Or visited.
Yeah.
Like, I never hear anybody really go.
Yeah, I say I love Southeast Asia, but I feel like, I mean, if I'm throwing around unlimited cash flow.
Just do Asia.
I mean.
The whole thing.
Wow, okay.
Awkward.
But yeah, I would do Asia. I definitely think Asia would be the place to go.
So those are all the questions. If you're interested in hearing my responses, go check out the video on Alex's channel. Link below, like I said before. Thank you for watching. As always, if you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do so. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Okay. Question number 9. Question number 9.